Amanda here, and welcome to our Tuesday 5:15 power class. If you are joining me on the mat today, I do want you to either have a block or a bolster, pillow, blanket, something like that. We are going to start out in a kneeling pose, so either Virasana or Vajrasana. So we're going to be there for a little while. It would be nice for you to have a little bit of support for underneath your bottom. So feel free to take a moment now to grab something like that. I think block would be best case, but whatever you can find to help support your seat would be great. And yeah, so take your time getting those things and we will get started in that kneeling pose. So just a couple of pointers here. You can really take it however you'd like. Maybe a slight space in between the feet. Taking that block, sitting in on whatever setting's comfortable for you. So maybe that tallest setting, probably the middle setting is most comfortable for the majority of people, possibly that bottom setting. And then once you're here, let's draw those knees towards the top of the mat and then take your gaze back towards the feet, making sure that the tops of the feet and toes are resting comfortably on the mat. Try to draw the heels in towards the block just a little bit. And then working to sit up nice and tall. And just take a moment to notice if you feel like there's too much pressure on the ankles or too much extension through the quadriceps. Feel free to lift your block to a higher setting. And then begin to settle in. Allow the hands to settle somewhere on the tops of the thighs, wherever's comfortable, but allows you to continue to draw the shoulders back and lift the heart forward. Start to find our breath here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Today, just finding whatever variation of that breath best suits you and your practice. So if you'd like to take a deep breath in and hold at the top and then release, feel free. If you want to come into that Ujjayi breath, also feel free. Just take whatever feels right in this moment. Beginning to clear the mind of any clutter that's still remaining. Creating space for just you. You and your practice for this hour. And then slowly begin to flutter the eyes open. Hands come down by your sides. As you inhale, circle, sweep the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, sweep the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers. Drag the knuckles down towards the earth and lift the heart up and forward. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together. And then soften the elbows and drag the hands over towards that right hip crease. As you do, right ear will drop to right shoulder. Getting a nice neck stretch through the left side. You can stay here or maybe tilt the chin down and then up to find that sweet spot that suits you. Try to hug that right elbow towards the back of your mat. And then bringing the gaze back to center, reach the hands back behind you, draw the shoulder blades back together, and then we'll move to the other side, soften the elbows, bringing them over to the left hip crease. And again, draw that left elbow towards the back of your mat, left ear to left shoulder. If you like this variation of the stretch, stay here, or maybe you begin to tilt the chin up and down. Then bringing the head back to neutral, back to center, reaching those hands back behind you one more time. Lift the heart, slowly releasing the fingertips. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up overhead. And we'll interlace the fingers up overhead, flip the palms. Reach the hands towards the sky, lift the heart forward, draw the shoulders back. This is our inhale. As you exhale, round into the upper back and shoulders. Press the hands forward, crown of the head forward. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, round it out. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, curl back and forth with your own breath. If you'd like to speed it up, feel free. If you want to slow it down, do that as well. Two more. Last one. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, allow those hands to come down by your sides. Let's sweep that left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Bring fingertips tent behind you. Take a little twist here. And then switch sides. Sweeping both hands over to the left side of your mat. Right hand comes outside the left thigh. Twist. Back to center. Both hands back behind the sits bones. Fingertips on the mat. Let's lift the hips forward off the block, pressing them towards the sky. Drawing shoulders together around the spine. See if you can lift up and forward just a little bit more. And then slowly release down. Walk the hands towards the top of the mat and remove the prop as we come into hands and knees tabletop pose. And instead of coming into traditional cats and cows today, let's find maybe some circles in our table. Really actively pressing the fingertips and the base knuckles down into the mat. Feel free to add on some cat and cow-like movements here, maybe rounding into the shoulders or sinking the belly towards the mat. Go ahead and reverse as well. Just taking any organic movements that feel nice here while also working out the wrists, giving them a nice little stretch. And then making our way back to center, hands and knees, tabletop pose. Let's flip that right hand around, fingertips face the body. And then slowly begin to sink hips back towards the heels, just giving that forearm a nice stretch. And then send it back forward, flip the right hand back around, and then left fingertips come back towards you. Slowly lower hips down towards the heels, stretch out the forearm. And then shift it forward, coming back to hands and knees. Begin to sit the weight back into the heels and allow the hands to come and frame the knees. Just as we did in our table circles, we're going to grip the mat with the fingertips and the base knuckles. You'll notice I'm rounding pretty aggressively into the back here. And that's the motion that we're going for here as we come into our rabbit crunches. So rabbit crunches, you press down into the fingertips and knuckles, press down into the tops of the feet. Hollow out the heart, hollow out the core, and draw the knees up into the chest. Try to keep the hips low and in line with the knees. And then slowly lower. So that's one. We're going to do some crunches here. So we'll aim for 10, stop anywhere along the way. Press down, exhale, lift up. 1, lower knees down. 2, 3, spread those shoulder blades. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower it down. Go ahead and give those wrists a little roll. And then we're coming back for some more. This time we'll be holding, maybe adding on if you choose. So take those fingers to frame the knees. This time, as we press down, we're gonna lift the knees up. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you lift that right heel towards the glute. Keep breathing. And then slowly lower down. Again, you can lift that right leg or keep it on the mat. So this time we'll move to the left. If you didn't lift on the last side, then try to mirror that on this side as well. Fingertips and knuckles down. Press down, lift the back of the heart up, lift the knees up. Maybe lift that left heel towards the glute. And then slowly lower down. Again, if you need to, taking some wrist rolls here. And then we'll walk the hands forward, coming back through table, tuck the toes, and lift the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Begin to find movement here, bending into one leg and then the other. So walking out your downward facing dog. And as you're ready, coming back to stillness, reaching through the fingertips, spiral the triceps underneath the body, nice and active through the legs, lift the hamstrings up and back. And then we'll lift the gaze forward, begin to walk forward, one footprint at a time, coming all the way to your forward fold at the top of the mat. As you inhale, find your halfway lift, draw the belly up and in, spread the hamstrings back. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. This time focus on drawing the shoulders back and lifting the heart forward. Exhale, fold. Soften the knees. Begin to ragdoll all the way up to standing. Inhale, arms up overhead. And as you exhale, bring the thumb tips to heart center. Ground through the feet. Lift up on the quadriceps. Engage the belly. Inhale, circle sweep. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, stepping back, high plank, shift forward, lower down, and go through your flow, or any variation of the flow that suits your practice. If you've been taking class with me for a while, feel free to try any variation that we've done in the past. Lift the gaze forward on your inhale, exhale, walking forward, one footprint at a time. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, let it go. Inhale, root to rest, all the way up to standing, and exhale, right back down. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, plant the hands. Try to step back with alternating feet each time. Shift forward, lower down, and flow. You'd be surprised how uneven the body gets whenever we tend to one side. Last time, gaze forward, walk, step, hop, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Earth to sky, lengthening up, and exhale, right back down. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, plant the hands, stepping or hopping back, and go through your flow. Meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches up to the sky. As you exhale, keep this downward facing dog, but draw that right knee to the outside of the right ribs. Then begin to shift forward and slowly step that right foot outside the right hand. Lower down to the left knee, untuck the toes, and sink here. Sink the hips down and forward while you draw that right hip back in space. Lift the heart forward, Try to keep the spine nice and long. Be nice. One more breath here. Sink, but lift through the heart. And then we'll tuck those back toes under. Step the left foot forward. Nice wide stance here. Not yogi squat, but just a nice active squat. Reach the arms forward. Sink into your seat. Exhale, thumb tips to heart center. Rise to standing. Inhale, rise up or reach up. And exhale, thumbs to heart center. Sink back to that squat. Slowly bring those hands down to the mat. And we'll step the left foot back along behind again. Lower down onto the back knee. This time maybe we come down to the forearms. Wherever you're at, work to continue to draw the heart forward. Keep the spine long. Crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. Try to keep that right knee tracking up towards the sky. And then coming back to the hands. Tuck those left toes under. We're going to draw that right knee to the right tricep, coming into half crow. If the knee doesn't rest on the tricep, you can always just bring it into the chest. Whatever works for you. For 3, for 2, for 1. Slowly sweep that right leg back as you lower the left knee down to the mat, coming to your 3-pointed table. Shift it forward, lower heart to earth, lift that right leg skyward, and we'll tuck those left toes under, extend the leg, sweep up into our upward facing dog, and then meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, keeping the downward facing dog, left knee in towards the chest, towards the outside of the ribs, then shift it forward and step the foot outside the hand. Lower down onto the right knee, untuck the toes. Stay here. Sink the right hip forward, draw the left hip back in space. If you notice yourself rounding into the shoulders, one option is to walk the hands forward and then focus on drawing the shoulders back, or bring those hands up onto blocks to lift the heart forward. See if you can sink just a little deeper here into that right hip flexor. And then tuck right toes under and step that right foot outside the right hand, sinking into that active squat here, hands reach forward. Send the butt back and down. Lift the heart forward. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. Slowly rise. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, sink it right back down. Nice active squat. Hands to earth. Right foot steps back. And again, lower down to the right knee. Untuck the toes. This time, staying here or lowering to the forearms. Meanwhile, keeping that left knee skyward. Continue to find that length through the spine. If you notice yourself kind of caving into the chest like we did in our rabbit crunches, try to do the opposite and draw the ribs forward. Slowly walk the hands back in if you've come down to the forearms. We'll tuck the right toes under and draw that left knee to the left tricep, coming into our half crow. Again, that knee can hover in the middle if you can't bring the knee to the tricep. For 3, 2, 1. Sweep that left leg back as you lower down to the right knee. 3-pointed table. Shift forward, take that Pilates push-up, lower heart to earth. Keep those right toes tucked under, extend the leg, rise up, take your back bend, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Again, right leg to the outside of the right ribs, shift forward, and then step the right foot outside the right hand. Lower down on that left knee once again. This time, we'll keep the left hand planted. Begin to sweep that right arm up towards the sky, and then towards the back of your mat. You can stay here or bend the left knee and reach for the foot or ankle. Push the foot away from you. Open up through the left hip flexor. Open the heart. Keep taking the toes towards the back of the mat. Open the collarbones towards the right side. Slowly release, bringing the foot back to the mat. Bring that right hand back down to the mat. We'll rock the right foot in so it's in line with the chest. And then slowly begin to rise up onto the top of that left foot. So yes, the toes are not tucked, and this is probably uncomfortable for a lot of people. Try to feel it out with me. Shift some of that weight into the front leg. Keep lifting up on that back kneecap. However, if you feel like you'd like more, slowly begin to sweep the arms up towards the sky, keeping a nice low crescent here. One more breath wherever you're at. And then exhale, hands to the earth. Slowly, we're going to drag those left toes towards the top of the mat. Left foot meets the right. Bend the knees, sink the hips, find your chair. Send the tailbone back and down. Lift the collarbones forward. Inhale, root to rise, maybe taking a back bend at the top. And exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back. And go through your flow. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left leg outside the left ribs, shift forward. And step the left foot outside the left hand. Lower down on that right knee. Lift the collarbones forward, right hand plants, left arm sweeps up and then back. Again, option to stay here, actively reaching towards the back of your mat, or bend into the right knee, grab onto the foot or ankle, and then push the foot away. So wherever you're at, there's this activation, actively pulling you, drawing you towards the back of the mat. Try to rotate the collarbones towards the left side of your mat. One more breath. Slowly release the foot down. Left hand comes back to the top of the mat. Walk that left foot in towards the midline. So nice and strong through the inner thighs here, keeping the top of that right foot on the earth. Slowly begin to press up. Make sure that that left knee is over the ankle. That's really important in this one. Actively lift up on that back kneecap. Right thighs engaged. And then again, stay here, or if you'd like, slowly begin to reach the arms up, coming into a nice low crescent. One more breath. And then slowly bringing hands down to frame the left foot. Drag those right toes up to the top of the mat. Bend the knees, sink the hips, find your chair. Sink in just a little deeper. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back, and go through your flow. We'll meet back in our downward facing dog. As you inhale, that right leg reaches up and back. Exhale, right knee to right tricep. Shift it forward. Inhale, up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shift it forward. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, cross it under, tapping left elbow. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, step it all the way through. Let's soften into that back knee and rise up into a bent knee crescent lunge. So this is something I've been stressing more recently, is softening that back knee. so that you can find that stack of the hips and the shoulders. Keep the belly nice and active here though. So if you're softening into the knee and feel like you're not engaging in the core, just make sure you tense it up a little bit, knit the ribs together. And then we'll find some movement. Inhale, extend the back leg. Exhale, draw the top of the thigh forward, bend the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Extend. Bend. Extend. Bend it. Extend. Let's bend it and hold. Slowly bring that right hand to the belly, left hand to the low back, palm facing out. We're going to lean forward and lift the left leg behind. Keep a bend in that right knee for now. Activate that left leg, reaching the toes back, crown of the head forward. Draw the shoulders together on the back, and then begin to extend that right leg long. Getting some nice alignment here in our warrior three. One more breath. And then slowly making our way out the way we came in. Rising up, lift the back knee this time. Find crescent lunge. Bring the thumbs to the back of the neck. Lift the heart forward. Lift that back knee even more. Press the back of the head into the hands. And then slowly bring those hands to heart center. Open up towards the left side of your mat. That back foot spins down parallel. Right toes reach up towards the face. Bend the left knee. Sink the hips. Find Skandasana. Sinking the hips as low as it's comfortable for you. Imagine planting that right heel and drawing it towards the back of your mat. Keeping that length in the spine. Inhale. Exhale, hands down to the earth. Walk yourself to face the back of the mat. Step it back to plank and go through your flow. Meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee, left tricep, shift it forward. Inhale, up and back, three-legged dog. Curl it in, knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, crossing it under. Twist. Inhale, lengthen. And then the exhale, we'll step it through. Soften that right knee. And rise up, crescent lunge. So again, focusing on both the stacking of the joints, but also the activation of the core, the lengthening of that right hip flexor. And from here, we're gonna work that back leg, extending it nice and long. Exhale, draw the top of the thigh forward, a bend. Inhale, extend, rock the way back into the big toe mound. Exhale, bend the knee, come up on the back toe. Inhale, extend, and bend. Extend, bend, two more. Extend, bend, extend. Last one, bend it. Left hand to the low belly, or right hand to the low back. Let's begin to hinge forward, lean into it as you lift that right leg up. Keep that bend in the left knee for now while you find your stability here. Drawing right hip down. So one of the reasons why we have the hands like this, we can feel the engagement in the belly and we can feel the squaring of the hips. As you're ready, maybe work to extend that left leg. Slowly release, right toes long behind, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, thumbs to the back of the neck, lift the heart, lift the base of the rib cage, lengthen the low back. Allow the head to rest in the hands. Keep lifting that back knee. Exhale, hands pass through heart center. Turn yourself back to face the left side of the mat. Bend the right knee, draw the left toes up towards the face. Find your side lunge. Again, imagine drawing the left heel towards the top of your mat, activating the inner thigh. Hands can be on the mat for support, or maybe you find them at heart center. Slowly bring hands down to the mat. Walk yourself all the way back to face the top of the mat, runner's lunge. Step it back to plank, and go through your flow. Meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to right tricep. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Engage the low belly. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, cross it under, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, we'll step it through. Again, rising up through center, finding crescent lunge. This time, see if you've created enough length to lift that back kneecap. Lift out of the waistline. So just like we've been practicing, maybe you grab onto the base of the ribcage and lift up so you know what that feels like. Then reach the arms overhead. Slowly bring the hands towards the top of your mat. Energy reaching forward. Draw the shoulders back into their sockets. Slowly begin to peel that right hand towards the back of the mat, opening up into your standing twist. And we'll find some movement here. So just a little ballistic movement. So gentle bouncing up and down. Controlled though. Really engaging those inner thighs to draw that right hand back, left hand forward. And then find stillness. Slowly cartwheel the hands down to the mat inside that right foot. We'll pick that right foot up, coming into half crow. Sweep the toes back towards you. Roll to the outer edge of that left foot. Allow the right toes to plant behind you. Open up, wild thing. Find length through the right side of the body. And then we'll pick those right toes up again. Step them all the way to the top of the mat. Right arm leads you up. Allow it to fall down the back leg. Left arm reaches skyward. Revolve to reverse crescent. Nice stretch through the left side of the body. Working the collarbones towards the right side of your mat. Cartwheel left hand to left hip. Right arm forward. We're going to draw that left knee up into the chest. And then reach down for the big toe or the inner edge of the foot. Extend the leg forward. Begin to open up towards the left side of your mat. Draw the left hip back in space, possibly reaching left arm back. Coming into your revolved big toe hold. See if you can send the energy down into the right big toe mound. Stand up a little taller. Slowly releasing the left leg, allow it to hover in space. Cartwheel arms down, left leg reaches up and back, standing splits. Hands stay on the mat for support, or feel free to grab on to the right ankle with the right hand. Halfway lift, hands come to the top of the mat. And then exhale, left foot meets the right, bend the knees, sink the hips, find your chair. Sink it back and down, nice and low. Inhale, root to rise, maybe a back bend. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back, and go through your flow. Left leg up and back. Focus on that core here. Left knee, left tricep. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, cross it under, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, all the way through. We'll find that crescent lunge. Rise up. Right leg long. Right hip forward, left hip back. Let's reach the arms forward, and again, draw the shoulders back into their sockets. I know it doesn't sound like much when you actually see what happens between reaching forward and actually plugging the shoulders in. It's a pretty big difference. Begin to peel that left arm back, opening up towards the left side of your mat. And again, we'll find some pulses here with the legs, focusing on those inner thighs. Really hugging the inner thighs together, deepening the twist. Shoulders drawing together on the back. Let's settle in. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down to the earth. From here, we're going to draw that left knee to the left tricep, finding that half crow. Then roll to the outer edge of the right foot, opening up into your wild thing. Left hand can stay at the heart, or maybe reaches towards the top of the mat. Find a lift through the hips. And then slowly gazing towards the top of the mat. Step that left foot all the way back to the top. Find your balance here. And then we'll allow that left arm to lead us up. Left hand comes down the right leg. Right arm reaches up. Revolved reverse crescent. Lengthen the back leg. Lift the rib cage forward. Exhale, cartwheel, right hand to right hip. Left arm reaches forward. Right knee into the chest. And then reach down for the right foot. Maybe it's the inside, the outside, the big toe, whatever feels best. Draw that right hip back. And then begin to peel yourself open towards the right side of the mat. Again, trying to lengthen here. Maybe it starts with the leg, then moves its way up to the ribs. Releasing right leg, allow it to hover in space. And then cartwheel, hands down as the right leg goes up and back, finding your standing splits. Stay here, or bring left hand to the left ankle. Gaze towards the back of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, step that right foot down to meet the left. Bend the knees, sink the hips, find your chair. Sink it down just a little bit more. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back. And go through your flow. One final flow of the practice. Inhale, right leg up and back. Pause here. See if you can send that left heel down. Reach the right toes a little higher. Exhale, step it all the way through. Back foot spins down all the way. Rising up, warrior two. Try to settle into that front knee bend. Open the hip points towards the left side of your mat. Broaden the collarbones. Let's sweep that left hand to the low back. And we'll inhale, right arm reaching up towards the sky. Bend the right elbow, reaching towards the middle of the back. Maybe you walk the fingertips together and see if they can touch, coming into your cow-faced arms. Or you can just set that intention and lean back just a little bit, lifting the right side of the ribcage forward. Keep the deep bend in the front knee. Release left hand back to the low back, right arm reaching forward, extend both legs long, send the hips back as you lean forward and find triangle. So this is only an option here to keep this half bind. If you prefer traditional triangle, you may reach that left arm towards the sky. Focus on that length that you're creating through the right side of the body with that slight compression through the left. One more breath in, draw that left shoulder back. Slowly unbind, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Bend that right knee, plant the left hand, and we'll step it back to your choice of side plank. So maybe you stack, maybe you keep that right leg hovering, maybe you grab onto the big toe and reach the leg skyward. And then slowly release, coming back to center, going through your flow, and meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Pause here again. Rest the hands down and forward. Try to lengthen that right hamstring by sending the heel down towards the earth. Exhale, step it all the way through. Back foot spins down, rising up into warrior two. Spiral those inner thighs open. And just settle. Find that space between effort and ease here, meaning engage where you need to, which is typically the inner thighs, maybe the hips a little bit, and then release where you can. Maybe that's the shoulders and the arms. Maybe it's the gaze. On your next exhale, bring that right hand to the low back, and then left arm reaches skyward. Find length through the left side of the body. Bend the left elbow, reach down for the middle of the back, and walk the hands towards one another. If they get there, great. If not, that's fine as well. Keep the bend in the front knee. See if you can find a little bit more stretch through the left side. Slowly release left arm skyward and then forward. Keep the half bind if you'd like. As you extend the front leg, send the hips back and find your triangle. Bound or unbound, your choice. Remember to take that gaze up or gaze down so that there's no discomfort on the neck. One more breath. Let's reach that right arm skyward and then cartwheel it down to the mat. Soften the left knee. Plant the right hand down and we'll step it back to your variation of side plank, whatever that looks like for you today. Feel free to play around, try out a few variations. Lift those hips towards the sky. And then exhale, left hand down to the mat, step back to plank, going through one final flow, and meeting in downward facing dog. Gaze forward, walk, step, or hop the feet to the top of the mat, so that you can roll down onto your seat. Let's keep the feet down, knees up, and then slowly roll all the way down onto your spine. You just can't make up your mind. When you get here, press the hands into the tops of the thighs, almost pushing them away from you. Creating a little expansion through the low back. Should feel pretty good. And then keeping the hands on tops of the thighs, but not pushing. We're going to slowly begin to crunch up. So bring the back of the head and the shoulders up. Allow the hands to work their way up towards the knees. And then slowly lower back down. That's one. Exhale, crunch, hands slide up. And lower down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, we'll hold at the top. Try to keep the fingertips nice and light on the knees. And then slowly lower all the way down. Nice. Maybe you sweep those arms up overhead, taking a nice upper body stretch. And then we'll bring those hands back towards the tops of the thighs. Draw the knees into the chest so that the knees come about to the wrist or about mid-forearm. Fingers spread nice and wide. We're going to keep the left wrist and the left knee together as you extend the right leg and the right arm. And then we'll switch sides. Bring right wrist and right knee together. Extend left leg and left arm. Back and forth. Maybe if you want to add on, you lift the head and the shoulders up off the mat. Switching sides. Draw that low belly into the mat. Try to keep the gaze up towards the sky if you're lifting the head and neck. Last 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring the knees back in and give yourself a little squeeze. Allow everything else to melt into the mat. And as you make your way back to center, begin to draw the knees wide, reaching through for the soles of the feet or the ankles as you find your happy baby. Imagine that action of drawing the heart through between the hands by drawing the shoulders down into the mat. Keep the left leg where it's at. Let's work to extend that right leg, creating a check mark with the legs. Press through the right heel as you draw the toes back towards the face. Re-bend the right leg. Re-center and we'll switch sides, working to extend that left leg. Keep actively drawing down into the right foot so that you maintain that center here. Come back to center. Feel free to stay here. Maybe rock from side to side, or if you want to go for your full straddle, extending both legs. Spiraling those heels up towards the sky, drawing the toes towards the face, still drawing the shoulders together on the back. And then re-bending the knees, everyone, bringing the soles of the feet down, knees up. We're going to cross that right ankle just above the left knee. Send the right knee towards the top of the mat, coming into a seated or a supine figure four. From here, those arms will come out to a T, and we'll allow the sole of the right foot and the outer left thigh to drift down to the mat. Press the right knee away from you towards the top of the mat, working to find some separation between right shoulder and right hip. You may wish to reach down with the left hand and grab onto the right ankle, just for a little support and stability. Right shoulder stays planted on the earth. Should really feel this in the outer right thigh between the knee and the hip joint. But also accidentally slow spinal twist. Maybe as you begin to settle in, you start to feel it in the sacral area. Try to melt in here. If you grabbed onto the ankle, bring the arm back out to a T. We'll begin to tick-tock the legs back to center. Reach that right leg skyward. Maybe give the ankle a little roll from one side and then the other. Bend and extend the knee. And then step that right foot down. And we'll cross left ankle over the right knee. Press the leg away from you. And just as before, we'll send the left foot and the outer right thigh down towards the right side of the mat. Finding that separation between left shoulder and left hip here. Muscularly, try to push the left thigh away. And again, if you'd like to, you can take that right hand to the left ankle. Notice how this side is different. Maybe this side you feel more immediately in that sacral area. Maybe you feel it going up through the middle of the glute. Maybe the outer edge of the left thigh. Wherever you feel it most, see if you can take some time while we're here and tune into those other areas as well. Both sides are different because you're going to feel it where you're most tight or where you need it most. But try to send those other areas a little love too. One more breath. Release that right arm back to a T. And then bring the legs back to center. Once you've recentered the hips, extend that left leg skyward. Maybe give the ankle a little roll one side and then the other. Bend and extend the leg. And this time, we'll bend both knees into the chest, give ourselves a little hug, and then find the inversion of your choice today. So maybe that's just the legs up the wall, reaching the soles of the feet skyward, keeping the back extended on the mat. Maybe you come into plow, maybe you come into shoulder stand, your choice. And then slowly, with control, making your way along on the mat. Allowing the feet to slide forward. Allow the arms to settle down by your sides. And allow the heart to open up towards the sky as you close down the eyes and settle in for your final resting pose. Shavasana. Gently use the breath to begin to reawaken the body. And then work to create small movements, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling out wrists and ankles. And then taking that nice long body stretch. And when the time feels right, hugging knees into the chest. And then rolling over to your favorite side. And with the strength in your arms, one last push of effort to make your way up to seated. Sitting up nice and tall, hands come down by your sides. As you inhale, lengthen the arms up overhead. As you exhale, press the breath out and away. Inhale, rising up, reaching up. And exhale, let it go. One more deep breath in from earth to sky, breathing in the energy and vitality we've created. And drawing it home to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Taking this energy out into the world and sharing it with everyone you meet. Honoring the light inside and teacher inner self. From my heart to yours, namaste. Well, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you hanging in there with me through all of those crescent lunges, but you made it, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks.